So what is variable? Variable is like a container that holds data. It has name and store value that can be used and manipulated throughout your program. Think of it as a box. Uh, label box, you see the picture. So label box where you can put something like we are putting apple, and later retrieve it by referencing the label, like referencing apple, apple, then we can retrieve the real apple, the object apple. In the same way the banana also. And here in the next line you can see the num1 is a variable, and it's we assign the value 106. So you see the value is stored in the box. So when we want to retrieve that value 106, we use num1. Like if you write print num1, it will print the value of variable num1, that is 106. Later on, same thing, like a num1, if you want to manipulate in later in the program, in the next line, if you want to assign num1 is equal to 200, so the value get changed. Okay, here I did not change the value to 106. I mean it is still 106, but the value get changed, 102, I mean 201. So that is the variable. And in the Python you don't really need to specify the type of variable when you declare it. Like in other language, if you want to assign a variable with the integer, so we have to provide that int num1, then we assign the value 106. But in the Python, when you write num1 and if you assign the integer, then it will become an integer variable. And suppose str and we give the string, it will become a string. And similarly, if you give the float value, it become a float variable. So there is we don't need to specify type of variable when you declare it. So here in the previous slide I showed that num1 is equal to, we change the num1 from num1 is equal to 106. It contains the value 106. And later in the program, when we manipulate or when we change the value num1 to 201, so it holds the value 201. So that is the variable. It's an integer variable. Num1 is an integer variable, and apple is an object, or if you assign apple is equal to apple in the string, that is a string variable. So as I told you, we don't need to specify the type of the variable when you declare it, and you just write the name of the variable and assign a value to it using the equal sign, like is equal to 106, it will become an integer, or 106.2, then it will become a float or double. And if you give true or false, it become a boolean value. So based on the assignment. So example of like integer variable, here you can see that num1 is equal to 106 or age is equal to 25. That is an integer variable, and when you print, it will print age is equal to 25. Similarly, the float variable stores number with decimal points. So like temperature, we can use the temperature is equal to 98.6. So that is a float, and the string is equal to something like name is equal to Elisa or something like that. And boolean, like true or false. Suppose if you want to check that a person, is he a student, I mean if he's studying, then we can say true, yes, he's a student, true, when you give the true value. Otherwise false means he's not a student. So similarly, I mean, is fruit, if we say that a book is fruit, no, true, not true, false. So that is a boolean value. Is apple fruit? Yes. So we'll go through the examples for variables and naming convention and naming rules for the variable. So variable name can contain letters, numbers and underscores, and name must start with a letter or underscore. And variable names are sensitive, I mean case sensitive, like age, small age, a, lower letter a and upper letter a are different. Avoid using reserve keyword of the language, like in the Java or in the Python we are using if statement, for, loop. Those are the reserved keyword, so we don't have to use those words as a variable. So let's go and see the examples for the different variables. I'm going to create a new file, variables. .py, extension is py. Py means Python file. So this is the Python file, and the first example we are going to give apple, apple is equal to, right now we don't have real apple, I mean we can create a object also, but we are giving a string. So apple, so this is the apple, is label, is a variable, and it stores the value apple. Similarly banana, and we use the num1, num is equal, we use num1 is equal to 106. So this is the variable, num1 is a variable that holding a value of 106 in the box. So let's write print num1. So it will write 106, num1 106. Run code. So here I told you that it's case sensitive, so you have to give exact name and run. You see the value you are getting. So we are using this label, this variable that has a value, and we can manipulate this variable anytime, anywhere. Suppose the same variable num, and I assign it to 201. So like how we assign here 201, so this value, I mean the 106 is replaced with a 201. So now num1 holding value 201. Print again. You see here now values 10. First it is printing what value. Right now you can see 106 value, and it print 106. And here again we are reassigning the value 201, so it is showing the 201. So the variable we can manipulate also. So hope you guys understand that variable, how to declare the variable, how to assign the value, how to print how to use the value, and how to manipulate the variable also. So this is the variable. This variable is for string. Variable for string. Here apple is a string. I mean within the double quote, that is a string, and this one is an integer. You know, if you want to write a comment, some comment, or some, if you want to document something, you have to give the hash. In the Python you can comment with the hash. Okay, so integer variable. So num1 is an integer variable. In an integer variable stores whole number without a decimal point. Like here 106 is a whole, it's a whole number without integer. And you see float variable stores decimal number like 89.23. String variable stores sequence of characters like Joe, Do. So here is the first name is a variable, it stores the value Joe, and last name is Do. Similarly, boolean variable stores value either true or false, or it's like an on and off. I mean, it should be one of the, I mean, either it's a on or off. It should be true or false. So this is string variable. In this one, first name, last name, and I'm printing first and last name. Let's see. Let's run. So what you have to do, you have to give some space and save and run. So you see Joe, or you can give it John Doe, J-O-H and John Doe. Control S. You can give some label in double quote, full name, and close the bracket, close the double quote, concatenate with the plus sign and save. You see full name is equal to Jodo. So this is about the variables. So by understanding using variables effectively, you can write program that can perform complex tasks with ease. They are fundamental to all programming language, either Python or other language, Java or all these things. So you should have a good understanding of the variable. Okay, so we'll see the another chapter in the next session. Thank you for watching and have a good one.